Maria Vasilyevna Oktyabrskaya, the fighting girlfriend. She was born to a peasant family in 1905 in the Crimean Peninsula of the old Russian Empire. As one of 10 children in the family, her future prospects did not seem high. After completing her secondary education, she worked in a cannery for a while, and then as a telephone operator. In 1925, she married a Soviet army officer, and they both changed their last name in honor of the October Revolution. She took a great interest in military affairs after meeting him, and eventually she even decided to join the army as a military nurse, as well as joining the Military Wives Council. When the Eastern Front of World War II opened, called the Great Patriotic War in Russia, she was sent to Tomsk in Siberia, far away from the fighting. Whilst there, she received news that her husband had died in the war in August of 1941 near Kiev. It had taken a total of 2 years for the message to reach her. Absolutely infuriated, she vowed to kill all the Nazis that she could lay her hands upon in order to avenge her husband's death. She did good on her vow by selling all of her possessions in order to buy a T-34 tank, which she then donated to the Red Army under one single condition: that she be allowed to drive it, and it should be called the Fighting Girlfriend. She even sent a personal letter to Stalin himself. Upon receiving it, he consented, and she was sent on a 5-month training course, after which she was appointed to the 26th Guards Tank Brigade. Upon seeing a woman driving a tank with the name Fighting Girlfriend on the side of its turret, the other soldiers regarded her as a joke, a publicity stunt set up by the higher-ups. However, this proved far from true. In her first tank battle near Smolensk on the 21st of October 1943, she was the first amongst the tankers to charge into the enemy positions and managed to destroy several machine gun and artillery nests. When her tank was hit by enemy gunfire and damaged, she leapt out of it and began conducting repairs, while her crewmen gave supporting fire, despite strict orders never to do such a thing. After the repairs had been successfully completed, they returned to their unit 2 days later. On the 17th of January 1944, during a night operation, she continued showing extreme prowess, taking out several artillery nests and a self-propelled gun. However, an anti-tank gunner managed to score a hit into the tank's tracks. Defying orders yet again, she jumped out of the tank and started making repairs right in the middle of enemy territory. This time, unfortunately, another shell hit the tank, exploding into fragments. One of them hit Maria in the head, and she fell into a coma. She was in an unconscious state for nearly 2 months and died on the 15th of March 1944 she was awarded the title Hero of the Soviet Union for her deeds and contribution during the war posthumously. What's up guys, how y'all doing? Cosmic Carry here, rolling out my fighting girlfriend T-34 Tier 5 Soviet Premium Medium Tank, recently released. And first things first, straight off the bat, I'd like to thank Wargaming for loaning me this tank. And personally, I would like to thank Serpia and the Rybot basically for you know, hooking me up and sorting me out with this access to this tank, and also the Honor T-28, which I'll be kind of doing a quick look at sometime in the future. But yeah, many thanks to you guys. Thank you so much for your help. You know, I couldn't be more chuffed, I couldn't be more happier, and you know, finally I get to take a look at these tanks and tell you guys, you know, are they any good, are they bad, are they decent, are they worth the money, are they this, are they that. So let's get straight into it. The Fighting Girlfriend T-34 tank. This is a variation of the T-34 tank. T-34 tank is what I would term as a keeper tank. Basically a tank that when you grind out you end up keeping because it's so much fun. But the reason why you keep the T-34 tank is because of the 57mm, you know, the 57mm gun that comes on the T-34 tank. The Fighting Girlfriend T-34 tank does not come with the 57mm. It actually comes with the 76mm, you know, which is a different, makes the tank completely different. You know, it's basically two different tanks. With regards to the differences between the two tanks, there's slight variations with the, as you can see, you know, with the turret and the actual turret armor. You know, it's very, very slight. As you can see, you know, there's no commander's hatch on the FG. We'll call this tank the FG from now on. On the T-34 there is a commander's hatch. The armor, if you know the T-34, by the way, I have done a review of the T-34. I'll leave a link at the end of the video. The armor is nothing to speak of, but although it is angled, you know, it is angled, so there is that. So what else are the differences? I mean, I think there's slight differences, ever so slight differences with the traverse speed. Another thing is the view range. The view range on the regular T-34 is 350, and on the FG it's 365. Yes, I am correct. What else? I mean, the speed, I think it's pretty much the same, 55, 56, you know. I can't remember what else is there. The view range. Oh, and the hit points. I think it has. Pardon me. It has like 50 more hit points, and not 50 more. 450 hit points, and this gets. Pardon me. 480 hit points. So for 30 hit points, you know, it gets 30 extra hit points. But big differences between these two tanks. And yes, indeed, you can see the insignia on the regular T-34. It is exactly the same as the insignia on the premium version. Of course, it's, you know, it's not fully on the side, as you can see. But you can actually purchase Fighting Girlfriend insignia, you know, from the game. So, but let's talk about the tank. Let's talk about, I mean, aesthetically, it looks great. It really does. It doesn't come with this permanent camo. The camo you can add 100%, and basically the only permanent thing, you know, is the insignia Fighting Girlfriend on the sides of the turret and the hull, as you can see. And I like the little, you know, the white on the wheels, on the tracks. That it does, you know, it kind of lets it rip, lights it up, kind of thing, lights up the tank. Although the tank does look really cool because, you know, I've got the camo on it. It did look kind of plain, but with the tech tree T-34, there was where am I going? With the tech tree T-34, there was the option to use the 57 or the 75mm, and with the 75mm being the preferred option to most players, 100%. The 57mm is a gun basically with less pen. Where are we? You know, less pen, less alpha, but a higher rate of fire. As you can see, you know, 26. You know, that is majestic. That is beautiful, and it's more accurate, 0.34. That is fantastic. But both guns kind of suffer from bad aim time. The 75mm, even more so. You know, with the 75mm being the permanent gun on the FG, on the Fighting Girlfriend tank. On the forums recently, you know, there was discussion with regards to the gun. Are there differences between the 75mm on the FG and the regular T-34? And it was stated by Wargaming that this gun would be superior to the Tech Tree T-34 75mm. But having rolled out in both tanks and tested them with the same equipment and same crews, they seem to be exactly the same, and they seem to be just as bad basically on both versions of the T-34. With, I have to say this, the aim time of the 75mm is between 5 and 6 seconds after you've been mobile with your turret and your hull. So that is abysmal. That is terrible. You know, when you come to a full stop after you've been wiggling your turret and your hull, it will zoom in after almost, it was almost like 6 seconds, which is absolutely atrocious. And another factor to consider when it comes to this tank is the rate of fire. The rate of fire is absolutely abysmal on this tank, and it basically holds the worst DPM stats of all tier 5 mediums in the game. And the 57mm does over 1,000 more damage per minute, so you can see the difference. That's, you know, I've been let down so many times by the DPM, by the reload speed of this gun. The 75mm also gives the Fighting Girlfriend the worst aim time, you know, of all tier 5 mediums in the game. So there's two kind of two characteristics where it's bottom out of all tier 5 mediums. So that's not, you know, happy days at all. But there, you know, there are those that argue, you know, on the forums, and they're correct, you know, that the tank is set up in a historically correct way due to it having a 75mm, which was used in the war, and the 57mm is apparently a fictitious gun. You know, don't ask me, I haven't got a clue. And who are we to argue with these players? But at the same time, with the recent release of the manga tanks, the Nameless and the Edelweiss, etc., etc., Wargaming did state, quote unquote, we are not a tank simulator game. So there is that. You know, I don't care either way, me personally. One thing that needs to be noted about the tier 5 scene when it comes to the Soviet tanks is the lack of tier 5 Soviet medium tanks. There aren't any. There's only the T-34. There's nothing else. Pretty much, you know, the T-34 is like this choke point where all the like lights converge into the T-34, and then you know, the mediums kind of spawn out of the T-34 moving onwards. So the T-34 is like this choke point for all these tanks. And if you take a look at the Soviet tech tree, you'd think it was like a very fleshed out tech tree, because you know, they've got 2 tier 10 TDs, they've got 3 tier 10 mediums, 2 tier 10 heavies. So you'd think, you know, there's a buttload of tanks here, but when it comes to the tier 5 mediums, there's only the T-34. Of course, you know, there's the Matilda, but so definitely a tier 5 premium tank is needed. You know, tier 5 medium premium tank is 100% sorely needed. You know, something good, something decent, something that works. A lot of people might be sick and tired of playing in the heavy tanks. They want something a bit more versatile, etc., etc. Therefore, a tier 5 Soviet medium premium is severely needed in order to fill a gap, plug a hole, and it kind of represents an important first stepping stone. And but the tank needs to be competitive, you know, because it's taking on that role. It's being introduced as the tier 5 Soviet premium medium tank. You know, it's the first of its kind, and yes, like I said, I know the Matilda is there, but the Matilda is the Matilda. But also, it needs to be competitive. It needs to be competitive. If it's not competitive, nobody's going to buy it, nobody's going to play it, nobody's going to make vids like myself recommending the thing. So what's the point? If it's not competitive, it's not going to fulfill that role. It's not going to work. It's just, you know, it's... And definitely, you know, the tank, it doesn't work, unfortunately. You know, with the 75mm, the aim time just kills the tank. The reload just kills the tank. The armor's okay, the hit points are decent, the maneuverability is okay, the speed is okay, the pen is okay, but the aim time and the reload just, you know, it just kills the tank. So it's all very good declaring that the tank is historically accurate, but if it's not competitive, no one will play the thing, and everyone will soon forget about the thing, you know. And that's the thing. This tank is just this, it's a bit of a missed opportunity in my personal opinion. And we could have honored the spirit of the Fighting Girlfriend with a tank that would have been played over and over again, you know, because was the idea behind this tank. No, wasn't it? Wouldn't it have been nice if we would have introduced a tank that would have honored the lady, with a tank that would have been played over and over and over again, that you would have seen regularly out on the battlefield, and you would have said, hey, there goes the Fighting Girlfriend. Instead, we're given this tank that, you know, this time next month we will have forgotten about this tank, you know, truth be told, because nobody will be playing it. And yeah, and it's a missed opportunity as well, due to the fact that we needed a tier 5 Soviet premium medium tank, and you know, this tank could have taken that role, but it's not gonna. It's a very poor tank, basically. It's a very poor tank, and hopefully Wargaming will buff the thing in some way, shape or form. We shall see. We'll have to wait and see. But in the meantime, let's get into some gameplay, shall we? Okay, let's go. Airfield, top tier. 2 games, both of them top tier. And I'm basically here to show you kind of like the inadequacies of the tank. How you need to allow for the, you know, the vulnerabilities of the tank. Name of the game is cautious, careful, considerate. Not words you normally associate with tanks and going into battle, but you know, so what can you do? So we're heading up to the classic medium position here on airfield. There's a scout ahead of us, which is fantastic, you know, if he survives, because he's lining up a whole bunch of reds for us, giving us some serious intel on what is going on. And you notice I don't auto aim on the Blitzen. I actually physically aim in and all of that jazz. Panzer 5-4 being a little bit impatient, wants to get past me so he can get the kill on the Blitzen, get those 10 hit points that the Blitzen has, and whatever, you know. So Anyhow, using our camo values to get a nice shot on the T-34. I don't get lit up till I actually take the shot. Second shot, no problemo. These are side shots on a lightly armored tank, so don't present that much of a problem. 82 off into the distance. Can't expose myself too much when he's out there. I'm not going to bother to try and pen the 82 at this distance. I don't have the accuracy. Headset, if I remain still while I'm firing at this distance, I should be good. I should be golden. And I do manage to take him out. Behind him is a marder, but the thing is, it's only a sliver of the tank. That's all that I can see, and with this accuracy, it's going to be pretty tough to it's a bit like threading the needle. It's not going to work, but lucky for me, he shows me his side. Disappears for a second, lead that shot, no problemo. He disappears. We can lead. Beautiful shots, very nice shots. Again, the AT is up there, but I do get lucky with a blind shot here. So you can see, I mean, the reload is okay when you're not being pushed, when you're not being threatened, when you're not being pressured, when you're sitting here playing in a tank that, load premiums. We're going to attempt premiums. Even with premiums, you'd be lucky, with the 82. You can see bounces. But when you're not being threatened, when nobody's shooting at you, when you're not brawling, the reload speed is, it's okay. But when you are being threatened, when you are being pushed at these tiers, there's a lot of tanks out there that just will let rip with fantastic reload speed, and that will just rip your tank apart basically. So you got to be careful. You got to be very, very careful, because in those kind of situations, this tank will most definitely let you down. Yeah, so we shall see. Very, very. I finally decided I'm going to help out with this medium. The gentleman is requesting help. He's on a minuscule amount of hit points. So I decided, okay, we'll help you out. Pardon me, I'm kind of burping there. Defiance. I'm most definitely, I can take him on, and I think he's like a 2-shot. I would say. I'm not sure, but the Defiance is going to be a bit of a, a bit of a smooth customer. I wasn't expecting him to hide behind a wreck of an FG T-34, but he does. I mean, smart guy, kudos to him. We try to pen his commander's hatch. We do. He knocks out my commander, which makes me lose my 6th sense, and so we bring the commander back into action. Essential that we do so. And now it's just kind of like a game of chicken. Who's going to blink first? And the Defiance tries, he misses, and we get to take him out. Now, it's at this point, you can see, I'm looking at the map, I'm getting kind of visually in my head, I'm trying to suss out where everybody is. I know where the AT2 is. I know where the Marder was. They're on base. So I'm getting kind of like a... Visually, I'm trying to suss out where everybody is and where I need to go, where I need to be. And at this tier, at tier 5, even though the odds are against myself and my heavy, I can do this. 100% I can do this. But the thing is, I'm in, the T-34 with a 76mm. Yes, I said it. 76mm instead of 75mm. But I'm in this tank, and even though I have the confidence that I can 100% do this, this tank is gonna just simply let me down, But having said that, I should be compensating for the fact that I'm in this tank with this gun, So what I wanted to do, initially it started off perfect, because this Marder was engaging me one-on-one, and that's what you want in these kind of situations, just for the Reds to engage you one-on-one. You know, one-on-one is fine. If it's 4 versus 1, you're going to lose, but if it's one-on-one, that's going to be a problem. So the model, 100%, he was, you know, very a very slippery customer. So, and I did kind of screw up. I mean, that shot, that should have penned 100%. It went I don't know where. And finally I do pen him, and I'm about to get behind him, and I get taken out by an OI experimental that seems to have better speed than my tank, which is a medium, so go figure. So yeah, so it was a little bit me there, it was a little bit the tank. You saw with the one-on-one engagement where it kind of really came down to the wire, and I really needed this account on my gun. My gun's reload speed let me down, so what can I say? So let's move on to the next game. And second game, we are on Overlord, and again we're going to be very careful, cautious. We're going to take our time. We're going to use our compadres to spot for us. Yeah, just there's no plan really. It's just see how the game evolves, see what happens, take advantage of as many situations that I possibly can, and try not to take too many risks. So initially we're moving up here to the middle, and we're just trying to light up whatever we can. I've got guarded optics on the tank, which I think is important when you're mid-tier, to get as much view range as possible, because a lot of the other players are lacking when it comes to view range. So that's going to give you first and foremost a humongous advantage. And to my left I see another enemy FG T-34, and I'm debating my options here. Basically, I think there's a ram right across here, there's a TD to the right there, there's a Stuart, and there's the ram too. And they're going to demonstrate exactly what I was talking about earlier about the rate of fire on some of these guns on the tier 5 tanks with the ram 2 when I ultimately faced the ram 2. Trying to suss out, figure out what kind of player is the gentleman here in the FG T-34. As you can see, he's not reacting too quick to the fact that, you know, I'm shooting into his side. So not a very experienced player in my personal opinion, but I managed to get a shot into the side of the Tech Tree T-34, and he pulls back straight away. So that kind of showcases a bit of experience at least, so I need to respect that T-34. But here comes a ram 2. He's going to be pouncing on me in a second, and you'll see the big difference between the rate of fire. And look at my health pool, how it kind of dwindles down. I've lost 50% of my hit points, and did I manage to pen him a second time? But he was just hammering away at me, and that's kind of typical. That's kind of average at tier 5, you know, with a lot of the tier 5 medium tanks. A lot of them have a rate of fire such as the ram 2, and it's yeah, big letdown. So I'm trying to work this ram 2 along with the medium to my right. Bounce there. I don't need premium on him. I'm gonna pen there. Yeah, there we go. And again, he pens me. Did he pen me? I think he did. He manages to take out the Skoda T-24 to my right, so I'm left completely solo. I need to get my proximity ring. I need to get him out of my proximity ring if I'm to pounce on him, etc, etc. Artie is also trying to make a play on me at the same time. And a bit of lag there, as you can see. And my artillery finally takes out the ram 2. It was a considerable threat to me. And as you can see, my medium is making a play. to my right there, up against the M4. Can I get a nice... You can see that aim time. Look at that aim time. It's forever and a day. If you've been mobile, if you've been moving, if you've been turning your turret, it's just oh my god, it's atrocious. It truly is a nightmare. Should be able to get a side shot kill, no problemo. And now it's 11 to 9. I have no idea where the 3 TDs are, the 3 remaining TDs, so I need to suss out where they are. And as you can see, one of them is a T-67. Until I figure out whether or not that T-67 is an experienced player, I need to respect the fact that he's out there. You know, maybe he's an experienced player, maybe he's not. Till I figure out, either way, I've only got 176 hit points. So we avoid the trees, we avoid capping the base. We're going to peek over this ridge and see what happens. And as I do so, you can see I get lit up. Instantly I'm thinking T-67, and watch the shot come in, and now I know where that tank is. Obviously, you know, it might not be the T-67, but I need to remain mobile because Arty is still in play 100%. And this is where kind of I come into play, you know, my skills, basically, what I can do in a tank. Not the T-34, my strengths, etc, etc. This hidden, I haven't got a clue what he's doing. You know, he was just lit up for way too long there before he eventually kind of made a move. I haven't got a clue. Maybe his crew skills and perks were just rubbish, but he responded way too slowly to being lit up. Maybe he, like I said, he didn't have sixth sense. And we're kind of just moving along nice and slow. We're not diving in. We're looking for the remaining 2 TDs and the Arty. And there we go. And there's the T-67. And I see the T-67, the turret is not upgraded from what I can see, which means he's not an experienced player. That's what that kind of signifies to me. And we got some nice shots on the side of Arty. One shot. Our Arty takes him out, but we do manage to get the spotting damage, etc. And we managed to pick up our 4th kill on the remaining TD. And a GG, a pretty decent game. But, you know, there was nothing there that I would attribute to, you know, the strengths of this tank. It was all me, basically, you know. You know, I'm not boasting, it wasn't some kind of fantastic performance, but it was just me being careful, cautious, and considerate. Careful, cautious, and considerate. Not strong and stable. Careful, cautious, and considerate. But a GG. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the Fighting Girlfriend T-34. I forgot to mention that when this tank was initially released, it was released, all the packages were going to be, all the different bundles were going to be released on the same day, on the 1st of September. And I thought this was, I almost fainted, I couldn't believe it. But it turned out to be a typo, and you know, we're back to the usual package, one package being released after, you know, with the 5-10 days gap in between the staggered release dates, etc, etc. But you know, one can hope, one can dream, what can I say? But with the biggest packages is around £20. I'm not sure what that is in US dollars. With the cheapest package, it does come with it costs £10, I believe. And I forgot to mention about the crew, because the it's supposed to come with the Fighting Girlfriend crew, but because this tank is on loan, I didn't get, you know, the Mariana Oktoborarska. I just got a bog standard whatever crew, etc, 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 etc. But the crew does come with a repair skill, which you can of course straight away change to 6 cents. So there is a bit of value there, you know, there is a bit of value to be had there. Would I buy it now straight away? Absolutely not. Would I pay £10 for it? I mean, me personally, I wouldn't. The only kind of positive thing is, you know, you're getting a crew with 1 skill, so you're basically, you know, there's 100k XP that you don't have to grind out. That's literally the only positive thing about this whole deal, about this whole package, about this. The tank itself, like I said, it's definitely, you know, it's a missed opportunity if I'm to be honest. So I wouldn't recommend it, no. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you Wargaming again. Thank you Serbia. Thank you Rybot. Take it easy guys. Adios muchachos.